It's Chris from Laser Lemon and UpandLoaded.com. Today, we're talking about season passes, specifically the death of season passes, and I can't wait. So it looks like season passes are on the way out, at least with Electronic Arts, EA as you might know them. They had a financial investors something or other meeting, had to answer questions to their investors. You know, the guys who spend millions and billions of dollars on EA shares just to, own the video game market, make lots of money. So every quarter, EA and every other company that has investors has to answer to their investors. So investors had questions. I should say the word investors a few more times so you get the point that I'm talking about investors. They have to talk to their investors. Investors. So let's say you're an investor and you were talking to EA and said, hey, tell me about the season pass plans for Battlefront 2. And EA said, well, that's the thing. We're not really going to do that. And they alluded to that about a month or two ago, that season passes were out for Star Wars Battlefront 2. And this investor meeting kind of really solidified that. EA is still not saying, season passes are dead, but in so many words, they really are. They have already nixed season passes with Titanfall. The first Titanfall had a season pass. Titanfall 2 does not. Titanfall 2 also did not sell that well. And I was on it again a couple days ago online with my friends, and there wasn't a big player base online, and that was like a Friday or Saturday night. It was about like 5,000 or 8,000 people online. Not great at least compared to the competition. It's not what EA originally envisioned it to be. They wanted to have something to answer Call of Duty in between Battlefield years. So Titanfall didn't really meet that expectation. So I was worried that if Titanfall 2 did not perform to EA's expectations, that they would take that the wrong way. They would say, hey, we need season passes. But it looks like EA is seeing the writing on the wall. Their developers don't seem to like it either because it really leads to the death of their games, especially if all of these companies like EA, Activision, Ubisoft, they all want games as a service. They all want you to pay them constantly to play online, to play their games. That's why so many games have microtransactions. Mass Effect Andromeda, crappy as you might think it is, crappy as it may be, has a bunch of microtransactions. And I know, I'm not selling you on the game, hopefully, by telling you there's a bunch of crappy microtransactions in Mass Effect Andromeda. But you could buy booster packs or whatever the hell for $5 to $99. You could spend $99 on some in-game currency bullshit, $99 for something that doesn't matter at all in the grand scheme of things, costs more than the game itself. You could do that, or you could not. And that's where I'm a little bit worried about this news. So EA said that season passes are a tough thing because, yes, they get a bunch of extra money up front, but it kills the game. And no shit. This is something that players have been saying for probably around a decade now. About when Xbox 360 was really kicking things off and Call of Duty was really popping. When Call of Duty first introduced paid map packs, it was like $10 for 4 maps. That really changed things because Call of Duty 4 was a big game. It was a big game, massive game, probably the biggest game of the year. So it can get away with it. When it fragmented the player base, it wasn't as big of a deal. So say Homeboy bought the map packs. He bought all of the Call of Duty map packs, but his friend didn't buy any, and his other friend only bought one. So his other friend could only play a couple of those maps with him, and his other friend couldn't play any of them with him. So fragments the base. So the guy who bought all of these maps is probably going to play the game less as it is. And now with EA, Ubisoft, Activision, all of these companies pushing microtransactions, they need you to stick around. They can't just sell you this big game with this big season pass full of maps that your friends aren't going to play with you if they're not going to keep making money. They want you to not only keep playing the game, but they want you to keep paying the game as well. They want you to have your credit card numbers just drilled into that game disc or into that hard drive. They want it laser edged so that they never forget your number. They want your money, your bank account, whatever. You can't blame them. They're a business, but that's what I'm not too happy about. So, yes, I am thrilled that player bases are not going to be destroyed anymore. So you're not going to have games that punish you for not owning the map pack or punish you for owning the map pack. So you bought it and now you don't have anybody to play it with. All you have to play it with are a bunch of other suckers that pay for the season pass too. And there's not that many of them. I know I just said a bunch, but I'm exaggerating here. I need to exaggerate. I'm on YouTube. So that's where we're at. That's where we're at. And if you haven't noticed, sometimes I say that's where we're at so I can recollect my thoughts. So that's where we're at. EA seems to be done with them. Like I said, they published Titanfall 2. They're publishing Battlefront 2, which isn't going to have it. At least it doesn't seem like it. Mass Effect Andromeda doesn't have it. Full of microtransactions. By the way, Titanfall 2 does have microtransactions. They all seem to be cosmetic. They don't affect the game. There's no bullshit loot boxes or anything that's going to... Like, you can't pay to make yourself better in Titanfall 2. At least not that I'm aware of. But doesn't have it. That's two notable... Actually, that's three notable games. And it sounds like Battlefield 1 is going the same direction. Now, Battlefield 1 already has a season pass. But they are working to kind of ease people into the mindset that a season pass isn't going to happen. And by doing that, they're probably going to ease you into the mindset of a bunch of loot crates and a bunch of bullshit microtransactions. So this is kind of like the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. So he is taking away the devil. The devil flips things around. So the devil giveth and the devil taketh away. The devil has taken away season passes from EA. And the devil, EA, is giving you a bunch of microtransactions. Now, to be fair, microtransactions and EA are no strangers. They have been around. They've been hand in hand. EA can't wait for you to just... EA wants every game to be free to play. They have said this pretty much in so many words over the last few years. They can't wait for the console market to become the mobile market. They want Apple TV to just be video games. They want service, games as a service. EA would love you to pay them a monthly subscription fee for Origin or whatever service they have going on at the moment, their Origin service, their EA Access service, whatever it is, EA wants you paying them. So just because they're giving up season passes does not mean they're doing it out of the goodwill of their heart. It means it's not financially viable to keep season passes, at least not to investors. Investors want more money, year over year over year. They want growth. Otherwise, they ditch their stocks, and EA doesn't like that. EA is a slave to the stockholders, just like Nintendo is a slave to the stockholders. Sony, Microsoft, Nvidia, everybody is a slave to the stockholder. So that's who they're trying to please. So they have to make more money. And microtransactions, stockholders love it. Nintendo stockholders want more microtransactions. They want them to be all in the mobile game because of how much money Pokemon Go made and how much money, well, theoretically, how much money Mario could have made if it wasn't $10. But, you know, the mobile market doesn't do $10 apparently. So microtransactions are the real replacement here, and I think that they're going to get more aggressive. I just bought Rocket League on my new powerful PC. It was like on sale for like $13, and it's a fun game. That's the reason I got it. But after I got it, I didn't know this before I got it. It's got loot boxes. I haven't really delved into the game like that, but I don't like those. I don't like it. I don't like the idea, and I might be talking out of my ass in regards to Rocket League, but I don't think I am, because who cares? But I don't like the idea of paying a bunch, or even some, extra money for some items in a game. Don't like that. I don't like the pay to reload thing. EA has recording. Their old CEO is on record, literal record, not vinyl or anything, but he was recorded saying that there are players that will pay to reload. In so many words he said this. I'm paraphrasing and probably screwing the whole thing up. In so many words, he said players will pay to reload their weapon. Here. It's $1. You don't think about it. They think it's 50 cents to reload. You don't think about it. It's in the back of your mind. You just need that extra awesome clip because you're paying them money, so they're going to help you win. That's the whole point of the microtransactions and loot boxes in Call of Duty, right? Not only do they have the Season Pass game locked down, Activision's not getting rid of Season Passes right now because they still make a ton of money. Not only do they have that locked down, but they are jamming the microtransactions right down your throat. Every chance they get. They even added them posthumously to Call of Duty 4 Remastered. That's how much they love microtransactions. Microtransactions are all up in your face. So like I said, this is good news as far as the multiplayer aspect goes because more and more games, more and more developers are creating games that focus on the online. That's why this first Star Wars Battlefront was only online. Mostly because That's what people stick around for. That's where the money is at. Also, they didn't have time to put in a decent single-player campaign. Kind of bit them in the ass a little bit. But that's coming in the future. Anyway, I'm rambling. Let me know your thoughts on this. What do you think about that? Have you bought a season pass? Now, there are some good examples of a season pass. I think the way Nintendo handled it with the Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U was fine. It wasn't called a season pass per se, but that's what it was. You could pay $12 and get 16 extra tracks, races, maps, whatever you want to call it, and a bunch of characters and carts and items and stuff. But that's fine. You know, that's not ideal for me. I prefer free, of course, because I came from this PC era where every map was free when you downloaded it. But that's fair compared to what we normally see. $12, 16 maps, and a bunch of other stuff. But you know, what we have now is kind of shitty if you ask me. I also like. I also kind of like the Zelda one, the Breath of the Wild, but that's because I love Zelda. And granted, I don't have the season pass, and I probably won't get it for Breath of the Wild, but I think it's $20, and you get a fair amount of content. At least Nintendo's promising a fair amount of content. If your season pass is full of a bunch of filler, for example, I have Arkham Knight season pass edition. I didn't buy the season pass separately or anything, but I got the whole complete Arkham Knight game on my PS4 when it was on sale. Got it pretty cheap, like $20 or $30 for everything. And came with everything. So I played the full game, and then I played a bunch of the season pass content. Not worth it. That season pass was like $40, $40 or $50 on top of the $60 game. So if you bought that at launch, that sucks. That really sucks. Because you probably didn't feel satisfied with your purchase. I mean, the full game itself, worth the $60, no problem. But that extra stuff, some of that stuff could have been in the game. Like a bunch of those costumes and skins for your car. That's not a good incentive to me. It's not a good incentive. If you want to do the Grand Theft Auto model, where you are actually giving a sizable chunk. What that is a throwback to the expansion packs of the PC eras in the 90s. The PC era of the 90s. I remember, I would get Rainbow Six expansion packs. I would get Roller Coaster Tycoon expansion packs. That is okay to me, because you're not paying for the price of a full game. You're paying a percentage of that, and you're getting a percentage of a full game back. So you might be getting several hours worth of gameplay, actual gameplay, not a bunch of bullshit that's just meant to up your trophy count or your achievement score, or just superfluous. That's the word I'm trying to say. Superfluous nonsense that you don't need. Doesn't really enhance anything outside of a skin where you could say, oh, it's kind of cool. It shines. It has light. Oh, Drake's doing another dance. That's okay. That's fine. I don't think it's cool to pay for voice packs where your character says something different or whatever. I mean, if you do, that's fine. And if that's what's necessary to keep maps free, I'm okay with that. But what I'm not okay with are ways to get the player to pay more money for the express purpose of screwing up the game. So developers will purposefully make their game a slog to get through, a chore, not fun at all to get through, unless you pay them a bunch of money. And it works. That's where the term whale comes from. They want to get the whales. And if you're spending a bunch of money on that, congrats, Shamu. You're a whale. You're a freaking whale. So, again, I had more thoughts on this than I thought. Let me know yours. Let me know your rambling 14-minute plus thoughts on this in the comment section below. Subscribe for more if you haven't already. Lots of great content, great set, whatever. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you next time.